Richie Brockelman, Private Eye, won't be seen tonight, so he can bring you a very special episode of The Gen X Files. Welcome to The Gen X Files. I'm Jim.
I'm Adam.
And today's show is all about
Running Scared.
Shine, sweet freedom. Shine, light on me. Yeah, baby. Yeah. Has everything that an 80s cop movie needs.
Oh, my God.
Bad cops who don't play by the rules.
Technically are the good cops.
Right, but all of their convictions would have been overturned. You need a...
Surprise, you can't make a guy read his own Miranda rights to him.
You need a percussion and horn-heavy soundtrack.
Oh,
preferably a drum machine, not actual drums.
Yeah.
You need a Patti LaBelle song. You need a Michael McDonald song.
You gotta have
check,
Michael
check,
McDonald.
checkity, check. You need a good bad guy who's ethnic, check. And you need Joey Pants.
Joey Pants. Every good 80s movie.
You got your
Joey
80s
Pants.
buddy cop bingo card filled. It hits every check.
It does. It really does. It is the most 80s cop movie I think I've ever seen. It was interesting. I thought I had seen this before. It turns out I had not.
Yeah.
I'm still not really sure how I feel about the movie.
Well, it is, again, it is very much of its time.
Yeah.
And it, like a lot of the movies this month, look, let's be honest.
Yeah.
None of these movies are Oscar winners.
No.
They're not great movies.
No.
None of them.
No.
But I personally love all these movies. Running Scared.
Yeah.
I was a Billy Crystal fan back in the day. I liked him since Soap.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live and then this. And it was cool to see a wormy little dude.
Yeah, playing a cop.
Playing a cop.
It was interesting. It was good, interesting casting.
And I love me some Gregory Hines.
Oh yeah.
Talk about a talent crush. I love that dude
yeah.
from the moment I saw him. He was an amazing tap dancer. Wolfen, very underrated movie.
Yeah.
Again, we'll probably do it. Probably not a great movie. I'm remembering it because I loved it. That Baryshnikov movie,
White Knights.
White Knights.
Yeah.
Amazing.
That was
always.
the first thing I saw Gregory Hines in,
Yeah.
and I was like, "Holy man, that guy can dance."
So anytime I would see Gregory Hines, it was just like a huge talent crush on that dude.
He makes it look so easy, and this is the beauty part of both Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines. They play off each other so well. They have great chemistry. I really thought they were going to end up together at the end of the movie.
Well, look, let's be honest, every single 80s buddy cop movie is a homoerotic love story where they can't. Look, man, it's the 80s. They couldn't be out.
No.
They had to have their beards.
They had to be with as many women as possible.
Exactly. Look at Riggs and Murtaugh.
I know.
And Eddie Murphy and all his buddies and, Starsky and Hutch, baby.
Yeah, that's true.
Starsky and Hutch is like, woof, that was one of the greatest love stories ever told.
Yeah, this is going to be a good month. This is what we're calling our other buddies. Running Scared is our first here. Man, I am so excited about the other two movies this month. Tango and Cash, and then Harley Davidson, The Marlboro Man, which is, of the three, the worst.
Oh, my God, but so great. I love it so much. It's such a guilty pleasure.
Yeah.
Honestly, except for probably Tango and Cash, most of you have not seen any of the other two movies.
Running Scared was fairly popular at the time. I mean, I think a lot of people in the 80s, because this was 85, like a lot of people, or 86, sorry, and a lot of people I think our listeners probably have seen this and probably haven't watched it in 35 years, but
it's a little dated, but but they all look. It's a perfect time capsule of the 80s.
Yeah,
the cocaine 80s.
Oh my God, so much coke in this movie.
Oh, man, so much coke in the 80s. It's like,
that's true.
It was a big thing. It built Miami was built by cocaine.
Yeah. Oh
basically.
Yeah.
All those buildings you see. Wasn't built by Jesus. It was built by cocaine.
Yeah, I will say that the thing that sold this movie on me, and honestly, the more I think about it, the more I like this movie, but it really is Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal. Like, if they had cast anybody else, I don't know if this movie would work as well as it did.
Well, buddy cop movies live or die with the buddies.
Yeah.
If they don't have, you can have a subpar, lazy movie
with
a lot of plot holes like this. If you have really charismatic stars that you root for and you want, you know me. I love friendship in movies.
Right.
In real life, I'm very neglectful.
Yeah.
But
I know.
But you know, it's got that buddy vibe where, you know, I'll do anything for you, and you know, it's man, and the rivalries back then.
Oh yeah. Oh my God, there were cops, and that's the beautiful part of this movie, is that it's not just the main two buddies, but then you have the other buddies, that are like trying to be the new hotshot cops in Chicago, and man, it's like the things that the two pairs of cops are doing against each other would get everybody in jail. It would just be in jail. It'd be it.
Is David Grease? Is that his name?
John Grease.
John Grease shoots Billy Crystal.
I mean, I like to think he didn't mean to.
But he didn't apologize. He was like, you were right.
I mean, he probably knew he was wearing the body armor.
I don't know. How? He didn't know.
I don't know. You're right.
He just shot him. Stephen Bauer.
Oh, Stephen Bauer he was a very handsome man.
Oh, my God. Stephen Bauer, he had a good run for a little while, you know, doing...
Well, he's still...
but I'm saying, like,
I
think he was in... Well, he was in one of the greatest classics, Scarface, as the brother. The hermano. Yeah, we'll get to him, but like he's kind of been relegated to the B movie like TV dustbin, and because
it's really too bad because he's really good.
Well, he made he did this movie that was kind of like a sexy movie.
Oh yeah,
and I forget who it was with, and it did all right.
Like Silk Stockings or something.
No, like a mainstream. You know, big budget. You know, one of the 80s lover movies that they would make. And I think it was even called like something Lover or something. And
Hermano Lover?
Something. It might have even been with, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But that movie, it was successful, but it kind of like derailed his career of being the action guy or whatever. Also, he just was a good actor who played a lot of different parts, and they couldn't pigeonhole him.
Right. Yeah, he was good. I mean, he's still, God knows, he's still working like crazy. But but yeah, it's interesting.
But this hit just at the right time. It was around Beverly Hills Cop. It was around you know all these big buddy cop movies that were so popular in the 80s that I loved all of them. And so when this came out, being a huge Gregory Hines fan and a big Billy Crystal fan. Loved his stand-up back then, too.
Yeah.
Billy Crystal was great in the 80s and the 70s, honestly. You know?
Yeah.
And then just, not everybody can be who they are for their entire career, right?
Right.
Like, not everybody can be Harrison Ford. Not everybody can go from 20 to 80 and still be doing... Right. And look, I'm not saying Billy Crystal's not doing good work or whatever.
Sure.
As he got older, he was less interesting to me.
Yeah. It's just, you know, you kind of... His demographic changed, and it wasn't you. And that's fine.
His comedy changed. You know, he became all about the baseball. And you know, it's like whatever. But look, I will always love Billy Crystal for Soap and for this movie and for Saturday Night Live and for his early stand-up. He was, you know... The guy was really... The thing that I was mentioning while we're watching the movie is he's really... It's weird because he has moments where he's a great actor.
Right.
Great. And he has moments where he is not a great actor.
and sometimes that can be in the exact same scene.
Yeah, exactly. But I think a lot of it is confidence in the lines or confidence in what he's saying. And if he doesn't feel confident in it, like a lot of the like, you know, his comedy bits, you know, those kind of fell flat because they didn't really fit so much in this movie. I don't know. I mean, there's just something...
I mean, there was definitely something about that felt kind of weird. The comedy felt weird in this movie, but it just wasn't... It was almost like I was kind of waiting for a laugh track, and then it just didn't happen.
Okay.
And I think maybe that was Billy Crystal, the way he was reading lines and the way he was performing.
Some of them, yeah.
Not all of them, but yeah. Anyway,
let's get
into it. Take yourself back to 1986, January 21st. Resulting in an extensive 5-year FBI investigation, several Chicago outfit members, including boss Joseph Joey Doves Ayupa, underboss John Jackie the Lackey Cerrone, and Capos Angelo J. the Hook LaPietra and Joseph Joey the Clown Lombardo are convicted by U.S. District Court in Kansas City, Missouri, for conspiring along with the Cleveland, Milwaukee, and Kansas City crime families to embezzle loans from the International Brotherhood of Teamsters Central States Pension Fund.
So weird that was in Kansas.
Yeah, it's so funny because so much crime, there's so much organized crime in these Midwestern cities that nobody thinks about.
Well, because it was like union-based or it was very localized. Man, I want to be the guy that gives the mob guys their nicknames.
I know. It's a Joey the Clown.
Joey the Clown. Jackie the Lackey. That was pretty lazy, though. Wacky Jackie the Lackey. Yeah, that's you, Jackie.
Wacky Jack. No, Wacky Jackie's the other guy.
Vinny the Nose. Bobby the Lips. Johnny the Tits.
Joey the Clown.
Bobby Balls.
April 13th, the first child born to a non-related surrogate mother is born.
Nice.
Yeah, that was the first, that was in 1986, which I really thought it was like 15 years after that.
They were renting a womb with a view.
June 14th, Anthony Tony the Ant Spilotro? I don't know how to spell
Spilotro. Tony the Ant. I'm the Ant Spilotro.
Anthony Tony the Ant Spilotro and his brother Michael Spilotro are beaten to death and buried in a cornfield in Morocco, Indiana.
Hey, why didn't I get no nickname, huh? Hey, he's the ant. Why am I not, the bug, the roach? Come on. You're going to kill me without a nickname?
Maybe he hadn't earned a nickname yet.
Getting killed without a nickname, that's the worst way to go as a mob guy.
Spilotro had been sent to Las Vegas by the Chicago outfit as its representato, or outside man, to protect its casino skimming operations.
Just want to point out that your pronunciation of representato is the least Italian.
Yeah, I'm not Italian.
You'll never be a mob guy, Adam.
Nope. But after gaining too much media attention and being blacklisted by the casinos, as well as allegedly having an affair with the wife of outfit associate and inside man Frank Lefty Rosenthal.
Yeah, I'm right-handed. Why do they call me Lefty?
It was decided that Anthony was a liability and is murdered on the orders of the new Chicago outfit boss, Joseph Joe Neagle Ferriola.
Hey, he's become a liability. You gotta get in touch with our friends in Chicago.
What kind of nickname is Joe Neagle?
Hey, Joey the Joe Neagle. Where'd that come from?
Their bodies are found on June 23rd, just over a week later.
Yeah, let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah.
To use.
I don't know much, but I do know that you shouldn't sleep with the inside man's wife.
Yeah, well, the guy made a lot of mistakes. He didn't take his job seriously.
No, he did not. June 27th, Running Scared is released in theaters. That's all I hear is just... Yeah.
It's Michael McDonald, baby.
Running Scared was greenlit because Peter Hyams, writer and director, wanted to do a movie that actually stayed on Earth.
Yep.
Yeah, he had done a lot of sci-fi stuff. The 3 movies he wrote and directed before Running Scared were Outland in 1981, a space western murder mystery starring Sean Connery.
Which we'll be covering in the coming months.
We will. It was actually the last original script he would write.
Wow.
Yeah, everything else he did was rewrites of other scripts.
It didn't do that great, so maybe that was the reason.
Probably. The Star Chamber in 1983, which, while sounding like a sci-fi flick, is actually about a group of judges who take the law into their own hands when the justice system fails.
Yeah, it was... This is kind of a conspiracy theory that's been going on for a long time, is that there's this cabal of, powerful people that come together, and they are star makers. The Star Chamber is, okay, you're going to be the judge. We're going to pick this person to be the Supreme Court justice.
Right.
And it was the power behind the scenes. It was a good movie.
The movie starred Michael Douglas. He actually Hyams rewrote the script from Roderick Taylor. 2010, the year we make contact, was released in 1984, the sequel to Stanley Kubrick's 2001, and based on Arthur C. Clarke's 1982 sequel novel starring Roy Scheider, John Lithgow, and Helen Mirren.
We're going to need a bigger spaceship.
Honestly, did you see the big baby at the end of 2001?
Yeah.
You're going to need a lot bigger spaceship.
We're going to need a big space crib.
It's a big spaceship crib. Yeah. So a quick background on Peter Hyams. He was born in New York City, the son of Barry Hyams, who was a theatrical producer and publicist on Broadway. Hyams studied art and music at Hunter College and Syracuse University before working as a producer/anchorman for WHDH-TV. During 1966, while working for a CBS-owned station in New York, he served 3 months as a news correspondent in Vietnam.
Nice.
He worked in Boston and then transferred in January 1968 to WBBM-TV in Chicago as an anchorman and reporter.
Chicago.
During his time with CBS, where he worked from 64 to 70, he then began to shoot documentary films. Hyams moved to Los Angeles in 1970, where he sold his first screenplay, T.R. Baskin, to Paramount Pictures in 1971.
Very cool.
Herbert Ross directed the film and Hyams produced. It starred Candice Bergen, Peter Boyle, Marcia Rod, and James Caan.
Nice. I don't know if I've ever seen that.
I have never heard of this movie before. I would like to check it out. Hyams made his directorial debut with an ABC Movie of the Week for Aaron Spelling called Rolling Man, released in 1972, starring Dennis Weaver.
I'm the Rolling Man.
Hyams worked on it solely as director, with the script being written by the producers. Hyams followed that directing another TV movie, which he also wrote, Goodnight, My Love, released in 1972, about a private eye and a dwarf.
Okay. See, I thought it was a private eye who was a dwarf.
I think it was a private eye and a dwarf.
All right.
I could be wrong. I do know that Goodnight, My Love there is a channel on YouTube where they are trying to get every movie from the 5 seasons of the ABC Movie of the Week.
Oh, nice.
And they have 4 seasons so far, and I do believe this is one of them.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, then I guess we could solve the mystery.
Yeah. The film was highly acclaimed. It was highly rated, did very well. The praise for Goodnight, My Love meant Hyams was able to get financing for his debut feature as writer-director, a movie called Busting, released in 1974, a buddy cop movie starring Elliot Gould and Robert Blake.
Ugh, Robert Blake. Have you seen my wife?
No, well, no, she's dead in the parking lot.
In the restaurant.
Oh, sorry. He shot her in the restaurant?
Oh, wait, did he? No. He went back into the restaurant to get his gun.
Yeah.
That he dropped.
That he dropped, and then he went out and then shot her in the car.
Something like that. Well, not according to... Didn't he get off?
Didn't you have lunch there not too long ago?
No, I was invited there.
Yeah.
I was going to go to lunch there.
The food there is pretty good. It's a little overpriced now.
You got some brain bits in it, though.
They're riding on the Robert Blake popularity. Yeah.
Don't order the Robert Blake special.
Please don't.
Too much iron.
They have really good... They have really good baked pasta there. That's what I remember from that place. Anyway.
It's a horrible thing that he killed his wife.
Or
allegedly, or didn't. I don't know. I think he was acquitted.
He's in jail for it. No, I thought he went to jail for it. Wow, I never got to look it up.
So he, just like our buddy OJ, he was acquitted because he's a celebrity, but then in the civil trials, I think he had to pay $30 million to...
Jeez.
To
her family?
Yeah. Backley, I think her name was.
Oh, man.
Sent him into bankruptcy.
Don't kill your partners.
Well, he's dead now. Died at 89.
Oh, he did die.
Lived to 89. Right. Evil lives.
It does. I mean, we have lots of evidence of that right now.
It is.
So, Hyams made a huge splash with Capricorn 1, released in 1977, about a faked Mars landing and the reporter that discovers the truth.
Speaking of O.J. Simpson.
It stars Elliot Gould as the reporter, and James Brolin, Sam Waterston, and O.J. Simpson as the astronauts.
This was a huge guilty pleasure of mine, and I'm going to tell you this. Another one of my big talent crushes, O.J. Simpson.
Oh, my God.
I loved O.J. I loved him.
Because of the football or just straight the movie stuff?
Movie stuff, because I wasn't really a football fan. I loved O.J. I actually met him a few times. I used to play sports against his son.
Oh, okay.
The one that they also thought that did the murder.
Oh, really? Oh.
But yeah, I did. Did track against him. And I don't know if he played football. We might have played. He went to Parker, and I went to Hoy Country Day. And we were sports rivals. I think Parker was our biggest rival. And track meets, I would jump beat his son, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pretty good.
Surprised O.J. Simpson didn't murder you for it.
He tried. No, but he would hang out with A.J. Cowling. Is that his name?
Cowling. A.J. Cowlin.
Yeah.
Cowlin.
They would be like up, hanging on the fence.
Oh,
and I'd be like leaning up against the fence, and I'd be like, "Oh, hey, OJ," He'd be like, "Hey, good jump," and then, "Oh, don't beat my kid, or I'll beat you." But he was like the nicest dude. I mean, look, it was such a huge shock when he murdered his. I mean, you never know.
We don't know if he actually did it.
Sure. Yeah, let's go with that. Much like the JFK assassination with me, single shooter.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I agree. It just was the kid.
I don't think it. What? Well, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that'll be for our Patreon subscribers.
Yes, allegedly, by the way.
Yes.
But yeah, so yeah, I had a huge talent crush on OJ, and when
I just don't know what other movies beyond the Naked Gun series, which is what I knew him.
It was
from.
Naked Gun. He was on a lot of TV.
Yeah.
He had those awesome commercials, the Hertz commercials where he was jumping through the thing. He was one of the staples on like Johnny Carson and just
his presence was just everywhere.
He was just very personable, funny. He was he was hilarious in the Naked Gun movies and in the TV show, and it was just like Nordberg. But but yeah, I mean, it was just a huge shock. And then, with all the stuff that came out, it's not a shock at all. It's very angry.
He was not a very good person.
It all kind of points to it. But anyway, yeah, so Capricorn 1. Good movie.
Capricorn 1.
I haven't seen it since a kid.
We're going to cover it at some point because I've never seen it as far as
OJ
I remember.
month.
Oh, Lord. All right. We'll roll that one around for a while.
I'm the juice.
Hyams would only write and direct 2 other movies in his career. Narrow Margin in 1990, a neo-noir action thriller starring Gene Hackman and Ann Archer.
Pretty good, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It was actually a reimagining of an RKO picture from 1952 called The Narrow Margin, so he more adapted it rather than quote-unquote wrote it.
Right.
But that was the only other writing credit he has. And then another one, which was also another RKO remake, called Beyond Reasonable Doubt in 2009. This one starring Michael Douglas, Jesse Metcalfe, and Amber Tamblyn, and based on the 1956 Fritz Lang movie of the same name.
I don't know if I saw that.
Neither of these movies made their budget back, so I think he just stopped writing.
I'm surprised. I really like Michael Douglas. I'm surprised I didn't see it.
Yeah, and I'm really curious for Narrow Margin with Gene Hackman. I've never seen it. I would love to watch that.
It was good. It was good. I think it like Ann Archer's his wife, and she might have been kidnapped or something. There's like Gene Hackman was in all these like wife kidnap movies. There was like his wife got kidnapped. It was always Ann Archer too, but there was tons of those.
A lot of those. It could have been one of the 50 other movies he did that have the exact same plot. Peter Hyams did direct a bunch of movies in the 90s, including Stay Tuned in 1992, starring John Ritter, Pam Dauber, Jeffrey Jones, and Eugene Levy, about a couple that are sucked into a TV by an emissary of hell and must survive for 24 hours to get home.
Not a good movie. Guilty pleasure.
Huge guilty pleasure. It is a terrible movie, but I loved that movie growing up.
I love John Ritter so much that I would watch anything that he was in.
Yes.
And boy, was he in some baddies.
I feel the same way about Jeffrey Jones that you do about O.J. Simpson. I was way into Jeffrey Jones and then found out that he was a child diddler.
I was way into Jeffrey Jones too.
It made me sad.
Yeah. Nobody wants the Ferris Bueller principal to be looking at baby wieners.
It's true. Time Cop, Peter Hyams directed 1994, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme and Ron Silver.
Another really good guilty pleasure.
Such a guilty pleasure. One of my favorite things about Time Cop is that super weird Jack Black TV show pilot with the talking motorcycle.
Yeah.
And there's one line, because Ron Silver's in it, he plays Ron Silver.
Nice.
But he's the bad guy, and Ron Silver is the bad guy. And literally there's somebody that's just like, you're Ron Silver, the bad guy from Time Cop. I just in my brain.
Silver played a lot of bad guys.
He did.
A lot of lawyers.
He's got such a great voice.
He's great. He died though, didn't he?
I think he's dead, yeah. A surprise hit, Time Cop is JCVD's highest grossing movie of all time.
Nice.
Yeah. Sudden Death in 1995 with JCVD. Time Cop was a surprise hit and was JCVD's highest grossing movie. Peter Hyams also directed Sudden Death in 1995 with Jean-Claude Van Damme starring as a fire marshal having to stop terrorists from destroying Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Wasn't there like a big fight on the ice or something?
So, yeah. Like there was stuff in the rafters and they went down. It's been a long time since I've seen Sudden Death.
Yeah.
But I remember really enjoying it.
Well, look, I have a soft spot for both Jean-Claude Van Damme and the Hard to Kill guy,
Steven Seagal?
And Steven Seagal.
No.
Oh, I love them. I love their 80s movies. I love their action movies. Yeah.
No, I mean, I agree. I'm more drawn to Jean-Claude Van Damme's movies just because I think Bloodsport was one of the first, like, action, like, fighting movies.
Cyborg was great.
Yeah.
He was great B-movies. But also, look, Hard to Kill and Jibbity Shoop and
Under Siege.
Under Siege. Under Siege was actually pretty good. Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh, no, I wasn't thinking Under Siege. What's the Steven Seagal movie that was similar to that?
I don't know. They had a lot of... Did he
there
do
was
a boat
like
movie?
That. Yeah, there was a boat movie where he was like an admiral or something.
Steven
Seagal, yeah.
No, that's Under Siege.
That is Under Siege. Okay.
First of all, he was a cook, Adam.
Oh, sorry.
He was the cook, and they were having a party for the admiral, and they brought in the Playboy Playmate, and then Tommy Lee Jones was the DJ, but he was also the bad guy.
He was the DJ. Oh, good spoiler.
Well,
obviously, I've never seen the movie.
Well, you missed out, man, because it's a good one.
No, I've definitely seen it.
Executive Decision, man?
That's Executive Decision was the greatest Steven Seagal movie.
Because he dies at the beginning.
Because he dies in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, look, Steven Seagal is a huge piece of ass.
He's awful.
He's a loving weirdo.
Human being.
But, and look, I even knew he was awful back then.
Yeah.
He is still, to this day, considered the worst host of Saturday Night Live ever.
Yeah.
Not because of the content, which was really bad, but because of his behavior.
Oh, he was awful.
Look, we're going to have fights. I'm going to have to kick guys in the face. It's a comedy show, Steve. I got to kick him in the face. Don't touch my ponytail. Okay, wait, you're going to kick him? Oh, no. I'm going to slap him. I can't lift my leg above my knee. My ponytail hits you in the face.
Sudden Death was a minor success, but could not replicate the success of Time Cop, which it made an insane amount of money.
Really?
Oh my God, it made an insane amount of money. The Relic, Peter Hyams directed in 1997, a horror film starring Penelope Ann Miller, Tom Sizemore, Linda Hunt, and James Whitmore.
Was not very good.
Nope. And even worse than that, End of Days in 1999, the Arnold Schwarzenegger action horror movie, which made over $212 million at the box office.
Oh, the devil's coming to get you. I'm going to shoot Satan right between the eyes.
Yeah, it was literally Arnie with guns against demons.
Oh, you're going to have the devil's baby. The devil's baby is in your belly. Get the baby out of your belly. It's the Satan.
So not good. So not a good movie.
Yeah.
The Running Scared script was written by Gary DeVore. Yeah. DeVore began his writing career in the late 1960s on shows like Chuck Barris's The Newlywed Game, The Steve Allen Show, and Tempo.
Okay.
DeVore's first feature film credit was The Dogs of War in 1980, starring Christopher Walken and Tom Berenger.
Ooh, it's funny. I had kind of a gun fetish when I was young, and I remember seeing on the at the video store on the box, it had Christopher Walken holding like this, this like I think it was like a grenade launcher or something that had those barrels around the side.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
I think we had it in GTA at some point, but I rented that movie for the gun.
Oh wow,
it was a pretty good movie though.
Yeah. It was based on a 1974 novel. DeVore rewrote the script for Norman Jewison, who eventually opted to not direct the film and passed it off to John Irvin. Backroads was released in 1981, that Gary DeVore wrote, starring Sally Field and Tommy Lee Jones, directed by Martin Ritt.
Yeah. Yeah.
High praise for Backroads.
I really don't remember. I know I've seen it, but I don't remember it at all.
The movie didn't do well, and the director blamed the script and the fact that Field and Jones hated each other.
I don't care.
Apparently, it is like in the annals of history of Sally Field and Tommy Lee Jones screaming at each other every time they said cut.
I get it.
Like, they just, both of them hate each other so much.
Sally Field seems a little bit insufferable back then.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
I could be wrong. And look, Tommy Lee Jones.
I love Tommy Lee Jones.
Grump.
I would never want to hang out with him.
Look, I would, but he and Robert Duvall both do not suffer fools lightly.
That's what I just want. I want to see how long it would take for Tommy Lee Jones to end up going, "You're an idiot.
You're dumb."
Yeah, I don't need that in my life.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So in addition to having Running Scared released in 1986, DeVore also had Raw Deal released starring Arnold Schwarzenegger and Darren McGavin.
Oh, I'm Russian.
Yeah, he played a Russian.
Oh, listen to my accent. It's from Russia. Das vidanios.
I'm going to give you a Raw Deal.
Das Domino's Pizza.
I remember liking this movie when it came out.
Yeah, that was like the Arnie Light movies, like Raw Deal. Raw Deal wasn't the one with Jim Belushi, was it? That was another one.
I thought it was, but it's not.
But I think
there was another one.
No. Yeah, that's the one where he plays a Russian.
Yeah.
Is the one with Jim Belushi.
Oh, no, you're right. I think Raw Deal was not. Raw Deal was something else.
Oh, I play a Belgian.
I remember.
I'm from South America. I'm Jamaican.
I don't remember what the Russian was called, but I always think Raw Deal's the Russian movie.
Yeah.
It's not. In 1991, Gary DeVore had a Showdown in Little Tokyo release starring Dolph Lundgren and Brandon Lee in his first American film.
That's a good B. It's a good B movie.
I don't know if I've ever seen Showdown in Little Tokyo.
That's a good B.
I'm sure
it's
I
not
did,
a great movie at all.
I liked Brandon Lee, so I'm sure I saw it. In 1994, he had Pentathlon released, starring Dolph Lundgren as an East German athlete on the run from his lethal coach, played by David Soul of Starsky and Hutch fame.
Oh, David just died recently.
It wasn't too long ago.
Yeah.
I just love the fact that I just don't see David Soul as being this angry coach that murders his athletes.
Yeah, he was excellent, dude.
He was a great actor.
Should have seen the movie.
I should have, I guess.
He was great. I love Dolph Lundgren. You know, Dolph Lundgren has an IQ of like 250.
Yeah. He's got like 4 PhDs.
Yeah, in like in physics, and
like
chemistry, and
microbiology and physics and stuff.
Guy's a super genius.
The best, and I know I've said this story before, but the absolute best Dolph Lundgren story was that people broke into his house in Hollywood, and when they realized it was Dolph Lundgren's house, they left.
Yeah. I must break you.
They were out on vacation. They weren't even home, and they were just like, no, we're out. Like, we're done. Yeah.
I must break you.
In 1997, DeVore had signed a 3-picture deal with the Laurentiis Entertainment Group.
They come up all the time with us.
They
know,
do.
De Laurentiis had his little paws and everything.
He did. DeVore was working in his office in Santa Fe trying to finish a script. DeVore had recently complained of writer's block, and so had decided to work in Santa Fe, New Mexico, rather than at home in Carpinteria, California. When he finally finished the script, DeVore decided to drive home through the Mojave Desert. His wife, Wendy, was waiting for him at their beachfront house in Carpinteria. When she did not hear from him, she decided to call around 1 a.m. It was later discovered the call had not been recorded by the telephone company for some unknown reason.
Weird.
Yeah. He answered, but was not very specific with his location.
I'm wherever.
Yeah.
Around.
This was the last time Wendy spoke with him, or anyone for that matter. A major manhunt in California and New Mexico turned up nothing. He disappeared for over 12 months.
Oh, wow.
A year later, he and his Ford Explorer were discovered submerged below a bridge over the aqueduct in Palmdale, California.
Ooh.
After police had retrieved the vehicle from the water, it was found that his laptop containing the script that he was working on, called The Big Steal, was missing, as was his gun.
Could have flown out during the crash.
That's true. DeVore's hands were missing.
Could have been cut off
during the crash. Yeah. Hand bones were found nearby, but could not be conclusively identified as DeVore's.
Okay. I mean, what's the odds of a handless dude and then finding hands next to them that aren't his hands?
The discovery of DeVore's vehicle was considered suspicious, as the aqueduct was searched shortly after his disappearance was reported and nothing unusual was discovered.
Okay.
Police concluded that for DeVore to crash his vehicle in this location meant that he would have had to have driven 3 miles against traffic without being seen.
Weird. Why? Was it a
because
one-way?
Of the way, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because he was the overpass. The highway is divided. He would have to be driving the wrong way to land it the way it was.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe it was placed there. Maybe it was the people that took his hands.
Or maybe he was just really effed up.
It was
driving the wrong way.
Also would have been more difficult because the vehicle's lights were not switched on. So the odds of him actually crashing the car there are very small.
Maybe he was suicidal and he was just like, F it, turn the lights off, going the wrong way, and I'm just going to see what happens.
DeVore's death has not been solved. No one knows what happened to him. A podcast called Witnessed Fade to Black was produced and released last year. While researching, his wife went through Gary's stuff, which she had put in storage after he disappeared, and they found close to 50 complete unproduced scripts.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's actually a possibility that some of his scripts might get made.
Yeah, I mean, they're probably pretty dated.
I imagine, yes. I mean, honestly, they probably were all like action scripts for Dolph Lundgren written between 92 and 97.
Maybe.
I mean, But anyway, it was fascinating. The Witness Fade to Black podcast is very good. Highly recommend it.
Did you listen to it?
I did.
And
it's very good.
What do they think happened?
They don't know. There's the CIA was involved. They think that there was a cartel was involved. Like there was a whole. He was writing a bunch of. The reason he had the gun was because he thought people were following him, and like it goes deep. Goes deep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2. Now I just sound like that. Yeah, that's fascinating.
It's super weird. I mean, I don't know why he's a screenwriter.
But it's like, why?
There was
cut the hands off.
There was thought he was working on the script. He was working on was something that potentially could have blown up like a big case, and and I don't remember specifically the details, but it was something with the government and Mexican cartels, and they were like, oh, this movie can't come out because he found the truth, and then he
about the government or the cartels.
Both. Ooh. I mean, I think there was some shady things going on.
So the government could have killed him, or it sounds like cartels. They always cut shit off. They always cut people's hands off and stuff.
Yeah, they do. So I mean, to me, immediately it was like, okay, they were sending a message.
Well,
anyway,
it took a year to get the message, though.
Regardless, he's dead, and his he wrote Running Scared. So, oh Lord. So the original script that he wrote was about two older retiring cops. DeVore had written the script with Gene Hackman and Paul Newman in mind.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it would have been. I think that would have been a great movie.
Yeah.
Hyams wanted to shake it up, so he requested the story be changed to two younger cops who don't retire but decide to quit. Tom Selleck and John Travolta were offered the roles of Hughes and Costanzo.
That would have been interesting.
Selleck and Travolta would have worked. Selleck turned it down due to commitments to Magnum P.I., while Travolta's agent at that time, Michael Ovitz, felt that the project was wrong for him.
Makes sense.
Yeah. To set the movie apart from the numerous other cop movies being made, Hyams chose to opt for more unconventional actors and chose Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines.
Pretty unconventional for cops.
Unsurprisingly, this movie studio was not excited about their choice.
What? Who?
Yeah. So Gregory Hines was cast as Ray Hughes.
Woo!
As we said earlier, Hines is a dancer, actor, choreographer, and singer. He is quite possibly the most celebrated tap dancer of all time. Hines' father was a dancer, musician, and actor in the Sugar Hill area of Harlem. He began tap dancing when he was 2 years old and began dancing semi-professionally at age 5. He would perform with his brother Maurice, also a dancer, starting as the Hines Kids, then becoming the Hines Brothers, until their father joined them as a drummer, dubbing themselves Hines, and Dad.
Nice.
Hines made his Broadway debut with his brother in The Girl in Pink Tights in 1954. Hines earned Tony Award nominations for Eubie in 1979, Comin' Uptown in 1980, and Sophisticated Ladies in 1981, and won the Tony Award and Drama Desk Award for Jelly's Last Jam in 1992.
I'm hungry.
In 1981, Hines made his movie debut in Mel Brooks' History of the World Part 1, replacing Richard Pryor, who was originally cast in the role but sustained severe burns just days before he was due to begin shooting.
Yeah, he poured either rubbing alcohol or ether all over himself and then lit himself on fire. Yeah. At first, he said it was a freebasing accident.
Yeah.
But then later admitted that it was a suicide attempt.
Yeah.
And then there's that horrible joke where... that horrible joke that somebody would inevitably make at every party, where they would take a match and they would light it and make it go choo 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 and be like, "There's what's this?
Richard Pryor.
What's this?
Yeah.
It's Richard Pryor running down the street."
Awful.
Yes. Man, that guy, Richard Pryor, one of the most talented humans on the planet.
I know. Complicated. Very complicated.
Well, he grew up in a brothel. I mean, the guy had
he had some addiction issues, and he had
sexually molested.
Complicated.
Yeah. The guy was not a happy human, but one of the most talented humans ever.
Funniest man alive.
Yeah, in History of the World Part 1, he was hilarious. Gregory Hines.
Yeah. Madeline Kahn, actually, who was also starring in History of the World Part 1, suggested to director Mel Brooks that he look into Hines for the role after they learned of Pryor's hospitalization.
Yeah, there's that famous scene where she's like picking the eunuchs or something.
Yeah.
And then... she does something to him, and he gets an erection, and then he's like, "Oh, he's not a eunuch."
He also appeared in the horror film Wolfen later that year.
Yeah, with Albert Finney, another one of my
talent
crushes. I loved puffy English drunkards. Something about them. Oh man, I was always drawn to like he or Richard Burton, or all these old English drunks who are amazing actors. But Albert Finney, Wolfen is I'm not going to say it's an underrated movie, but it's a really interesting horror film. And when we do it, you're probably going to hate it because I don't think it's going to.
I've never seen it, so I don't know. I don't know. I've only hated one movie so far.
That's true. Well, except for the ones that we
except for last
targeted.
Month. Yes. Hines' peak as an actor came in the mid-1980s. He had a large role in The Cotton Club. It wasn't Ragtime, it was Cotton Club.
Cotton Club, right.
In 1984, where he and his brother Maurice, in his sole film credit, played a 1930s tap dancing duo reminiscent of the Nicholas brothers.
Yeah, they were great. Wasn't Matt Dillon in The Cotton Club?
I think so. That sounds right. It was co-written and directed by Francis Ford Coppola. Hines co-starred with Mikhail Baryshnikov in the 1985 film White Nights, directed by Taylor Hackford.
That was a good one.
I didn't know that Taylor Hackford directed that.
Yeah.
Hines persistently campaigned for his role in Running Scared, proud that the film featured a
black guy with sex scenes.
Deviating from the norm of the black character being devoid of sexuality, as opposed to his white counterpart. He recalled that Hyams was
tough to work with,
but that he didn't want to
put the guy down.
Yeah. In an interview in 1987, Hines said that he often looked for roles written for white actors,
preferring their greater scope and dynamics.
Yeah, I mean, black characters weren't written very well.
He was also somebody that came from the stage. He wasn't looking to be... All right, look. Back then, Hollywood was pretty stereotypical.
There were some stereotype problems.
A lot of stereotype problems. And it was hard to break out of, you could be a star, but you're going to be a... Before you were a star, if you were... an actor, a minority actor, it was like you had to start out, okay, you're going to be the gangbanger, you're going to be the criminal, you're going to be the this, and he didn't want any of that. He just wanted to have good roles.
Yeah.
And he deserved it. The guy was amazing.
He's a great actor, yeah. He starred in the 1989 film Tap, opposite Sammy Davis Jr. in Davis's last screen performance.
Yeah.
He appeared alongside Whitney Houston and Loretta Devine in the highly successful 1995 film Waiting to Exhale, and opposite Houston, Denzel Washington, and Courtney B. Vance the following year in The Preacher's Wife.
Yeah.
Your favorite movie of all time?
I'm not a fan of The Preacher's Wife.
No, I've only seen it once, and I thought it was fine, but it didn't really do
It's fine. It's just not in my wheelhouse.
Yeah. On television, he starred in his own sitcom in 1997, The Gregory Hines Show, which ran for one season on CBS and had a recurring role of Ben Doucette on Will and Grace.
He was really... I liked The Gregory Hines Show. I was sad that it was canceled.
Yeah. He voiced Big Bill in the Nick Jr. Channel's animated children's series Little Bill, which ran from 1999 to 2004. He actually won a Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Performer in an Animated Program for the role in 2003.
Nice.
Unfortunately, Hines died of liver cancer on August 9th, 2003, en route to the hospital from his home in Los Angeles. He was diagnosed with the disease a year earlier, but informed only his closest friends. At the time of his death, production of the television show Little Bill was ending.
Well, good. I mean, at least it coincided with the ending of the show. So it worked out for everybody.
Good job that he did that.
Yeah.
Oh,
it was so sad.
2003. I can't believe it was that long ago.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It broke my heart.
Yeah. Billy Crystal was cast as Danny Costanzo.
They don't pay me no more. I don't like those guys. They don't pay me no more.
So weird. The whole thing was weird. Crystal was not a known feature film star, having made his feature film debut in Rabbit Test in 1978, the comedy from Joan Rivers about a man getting pregnant.
Yeah, I remember when that came out. There was a lot of scuttlebutt, but the movie was a bomb.
It was bad. He did find success in TV, parlaying his lead role as Jody Dallas on Soap into a series of comedy specials that did very well.
Again, we've talked about this before, but Jody was a groundbreaking character.
Yeah.
It was career death to play a gay man as a straight man back then. And he played Jody not as a stereotype. It was a very... It's one of the first real gay portrayals on network television, I think.
Yeah, I would probably. I mean, I would think so.
Although they did that thing, I'm pretty sure they did that thing where they did a lot, which was like, oh, maybe he could be straight.
Oh, maybe if he just meets the right woman.
Or like he got hit on the head and was straight for a while. Like Urkel.
I
don't know. Maybe not.
Urkel was gay?
No, he turned into didn't he turn into Stefan Urkel?
Stefan Urkel, yeah.
Just quick side note. I read some article about Jaleel White, and he was like, he's like, Stefan, man, that was a way for people to see who I really was. And I was like, okay.
Wait, so you were just a womanizing asshole?
He used to come into the casting school.
Oh, yeah?
He was a really nice guy.
I've heard he's a really nice guy, yeah. In 1984, he hosted Saturday Night Live. Billy Crystal, not Jaleel White, hosted Saturday Night Live a couple of times before becoming a regular cast member the next season.
He was supposed to be on the first one.
Yeah, it's something I don't remember.
He was going to be an original cast member.
in the original cast member.
Yeah, in the pilot, I think he was. Yeah, something happened.
His most famous recurring sketch was his parody of Fernando Lamas, a smarmy talk show host whose catchphrase,
"You look marvelous."
Yeah.
Father of
Lorenzo
Lamas, who was in Grease. Listen to our Grease show.
Yeah. Due to the success of Crystal's stand-up and SNL career, in 1985 he released an album of his stand-up material titled Marvelous. The album was nominated for a Grammy Award for Best Comedy Recording at the 1986 Grammy Awards.
It was great. He was great stand-up.
Yeah.
Guy's talented MFer.
At one point during production of Running Scared, Crystal whacked himself in the head with his pistol by accident and split open his nose.
Yeah, well, of course. He doesn't seem like the most coordinated guy.
He was taken to a hospital where a plastic surgeon stitched him up. Still feeling groggy, he was struggling to sign the release form when the ambulance driver slipped forward another piece of paper and said,
"Just put the Debbie. You look marvelous."
Great time to ask for...
What? I have a concussion.
I'm sorry. So for more on Billy Crystal, please listen to episode 143 of our show on Throw Mama from the Train.
Right.
We go way more in-depth into Billy Crystal.
Yes, we do.
Talk about Jody Dallas a lot more. And it's a great episode because Throw Mama from the Train is my favorite Billy Crystal movie.
I think this is my favorite Billy Crystal movie.
Okay.
I like Throw Mama from the Train. But I think
it was the first thing I really remember him in. So yeah.
Well, another guy I had a talent crush on, I would say, Billy Crystal. Because of like his stand-up and I loved Soap.
Stephen Bauer was cast as Frank, one of the other buddies. Bauer was born Esteban Ernesto Echevarria Sampson in 1956 in Havana, Cuba.
Why'd he change his name?
I don't know, because it took 4 minutes to say it. Bauer's family emigrated from Cuba to the United States on Independence Day in 1960.
Cuba.
Oh, I'm sorry. Cuba.
Thank you.
Bauer's family emigrated from Cuba to the United States on Independence Day in 1960 when he was 3 years old, shortly after the end of the Cuban Revolution. Wait, that's not it. Cuban Revolution, settling in Miami, Florida. He studied at the University of Miami, where he became friends with Ray Liotta.
Yeah.
This blows my mind. I always love it when it's like, oh yeah, we were in college together, like all these stories, or like we were roommates in like New York.
Yeah, man, Ray Liotta. Oh man, he was
brilliant.
Oh my god, I remember. I think the first thing I saw him in was Something Wild.
Ray Liotta. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
with it was that weird comedy. I think it was Was it called Something Wild? I think so. Anyway, he played the boyfriend of the. He was so chilling.
Oh,
he was so good, and I was just like, "This dude is a badass."
Yeah. Stephen Bauer made his professional acting debut as a lead in Que Pasa USA, America's first bilingual situation comedy, and the first sitcom to be produced for PBS.
Okay.
It ran from 1977 to 1980. In 1981, Bauer starred in the television movie She's in the Army Now, where he met his first wife, actress Melanie Griffith.
Right.
I did not realize they were married.
Oh, yeah. She married a lot of people.
She did. She did.
Starting with Don Johnson.
Oh, that's
from
right.
Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man. Yeah. And then she married him again.
And then, that's right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. We'll go into in-depth Melanie Griffith's love life at some point.
We'll do it in Harley Davidson, the Marlboro Man.
Probably. They both moved to New York City and stayed at Ray Liotta's apartment, while Liotta moved to Los Angeles and stayed in theirs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Little switcheroo.
Little switcheroo. Why not? His feature film debut was in Valley Girl as Guy in Pink Shirt in 1983.
Great film.
Such a good movie. That same year, he appeared as Manny Ray in Scarface. His performance drew a Golden Globe nomination for Best Supporting Actor.
You cockroach. Hey, say hello to my little friend. Hey. I'm a Cuban. Hey.
You know what's really funny? I've never seen Scarface.
Really?
Never.
It is a horrible movie.
I've never had any interest in watching Scarface.
We're definitely covering it.
I know.
It is not by any stretch a good movie.
Right.
But it is so entertaining. It is so entertaining.
Well, I really like Stephen Bauer, so part of me is like, that gives me a reason to watch it.
Well, you have Robert Loggia playing a Cuban. You have Al Pacino playing a Cuban.
Yeah.
Hey, ho.
So many,
it is so over the top.
Yeah.
Oh my God! But it is the.
At least they had one actual Cuban in the movie.
Yeah, well, they had to, or they would have been sued.
In 1986, in addition to appearing in Running Scared, he appeared as an Israeli soldier named Avner in the Canadian CTV television movie Sword of Gideon, which tells the story of Mossad agents hunting down terrorists in the aftermath of the 1972 Munich massacre.
Oh man, this was actually pretty good.
I want to see it because it sounds really good.
For some reason, and I don't know why, but I've always been kind of obsessed with the Munich.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
The whole terrorist thing? Yeah.
Yes, and I loved the Spielberg, at the Munich
that's what
adaptation.
the Sword of Gideon script was actually the basis for Steven Spielberg's later film Munich, which follows the same storyline and borrows heavily from the Sword of Gideon story and script.
But the story of the Mossad getting their revenge on these terrorists it's an incredible true story. Yeah. But it's just so satisfying.
I liked Munich, the Steven Spielberg movie, because of that storyline. I did not like some of the choices Steven Spielberg made with the main character and some like the weird flashback sex scene with him imagining killing people. It was super bizarre.
Yeah.
Or like things blowing up while he's like jamming inside her. It was just weird.
That was Eric Bana too, right?
Yeah.
Eric Bana's fine.
He's hit and miss. Yeah.
He's just a little bland.
Yeah.
He was great in, was it Chopper?
Yes. I think that's...
the Australian?
Yes.
Chopper.
It was Chopper or the other one. Yeah, with the big mustache. Yeah.
Yeah, he was excellent in that.
I need to find Sword of Gideon because I really like Stephen Bauer. And I this sounds, sounds fascinating.
Oh, yeah.
Bauer had a long career appearing in action movies and crime dramas. In 2010, he appeared in 15 movies.
Nice.
That same year, Bauer was falsely named as the driver of a vehicle that struck and killed 24-year-old Brent Rosenberg of Malibu.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Rosenberg was walking to his car parked on the east side of the road when he was struck by a sport utility vehicle. Initial reports said Bauer was the driver of the vehicle, but police officials later said it was a different person of the same name involved in the fatality.
Oh, okay.
That's the media going, oh, it must be Stephen Bauer, the actor, not anybody else named Stephen Bauer.
I get it, but, make a follow-up call.
Yeah. It's like, come on. How many people actually corrected the story?
It shows how lazy people are.
In 2011, Bauer appeared on the series Breaking Bad, playing Mexican drug lord Don Eladio.
Oh, he was so good.
So good. Oh, God, he's so good. I did not realize how much I loved Stephen Bauer until I watched Running Scared.
Oh, yeah. And he was, in any other time, the guy would have been a huge star.
That's what I don't understand why he wasn't.
Because he was Cuban. I mean it was just at the time there wasn't that many minority superstars, especially Hispanic or Cuban. You know, there wasn't a lot of guys. There was like, Freddie Prince. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, but you know what I mean. Like they were relegated to, but he was just very good looking. He was a very good actor.
So good looking.
They tried. I think it was another thing of, agents not making the right choices. Sometimes.
Yeah. I mean, and it's not like he's not been working. I mean, he's definitely had a good career.
But he should have been
he
a
just
leading
should have been
man.
in much bigger movies. Yeah.
He was more relegated. He's more of a character actor.
Yeah.
I would have watched a movie with John Grease and him.
Totally. The other buddies.
Yeah.
Like, I totally would have watched that.
Running Scared or...
More recently, Bauer appeared as ex-Mossad agent turned private investigator Avi in the Showtime series Ray Donovan.
Yep, he was great in that too.
I never watched Ray Donovan. I heard it was very good.
It is really good.
Bauer also reprised his Breaking Bad role in 2017 in AMC's prequel Better Call Saul. He can most recently be seen in 3 TV shows. SWAT, based on the 1975 TV show and 2003 movie.
I think that just got canceled.
Yeah, he was only in 1 episode. Stephen Bauer also was in White House Plumbers, the miniseries about the Watergate break-in on HBO.
Do you know what SWAT stands for?
Swift Weapon Armed Tactical?
Almost. Special Weapons and Tactical Team.
Oh, there we go. Okay. It was something like that.
Actually, don't know. I just made that up. It could be. It could not be. I don't know.
Stephen Bauer was also in The Blacklist, starring James Spader.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, he's still working. He's still doing a whole ton of stuff.
Great. I love to see character act. That's the greatest thing about being a character actor.
Yeah.
Is you're always you can work to the day you die if you're good at it.
You can be in really good, like, TV stuff and then do 15 B movies and make so much bank.
Yeah.
He's
always good.
Darlene Flugel was cast as Anna Costanzo, his Billy Crystal's ex-wife in the movie.
Oh, yeah. She was huge in the 80s.
She was. She started modeling at age 16 and moved to New York City at 18 to start her professional modeling career the year after her father passed away. She was represented by Ford models for 15 years and started taking acting classes.
Okay.
Flugel said,
I realized I was washed up as a model at 25. Been in the business for years, and a lot of people thought I was even older than I was. I realized I had to make a drastic change in my life. So, acting.
Yeah, I mean, she still modeled. Like, she still modeled for quite a while, but like, she was like, you know what? She understood that, you know, the looks aren't going to last forever. So.
Again, proof of my thesis that acting is the easiest job in the world because it's all ex-athletes and ex-models.
That's true. That's true. Flugel made her screen debut in a supporting role as a model in the 1978 Irving Kershner film Eyes of Laura Mars, starring Faye Dunaway, Tommy Lee Jones, Brad Dourif, Renee Auberjonois, and Raul Julia.
It's a good movie.
I would need to see it. It sounds really familiar, Eyes of Laura Mars.
It was big. It was a big movie about somebody's eyes.
A big movie, yeah. She was playing a model in it, so like there was some quote that she was like, it wasn't a big stretch,
right?
But it got me the experience I needed. So,
well, she was kind of relegated to playing the suffering wife or girlfriend. Yeah. Unfortunately,
her first major film role was as Nenelia in the sci-fi cult movie Battle Beyond the Stars.
Listen to our Battle Beyond the Stars show,
episode 65, to hear more about Battle Beyond the Stars. They've not a very good movie.
Battle Beyond the Stars,
but fun. It was a fun movie.
Yeah, it was one of the better Star Wars ripoffs.
It was. Flugel was featured as Robert De Niro's girlfriend Eve in Sergio Leone's 1984 film Once Upon a Time in America. In America?
In America or America?
No, just America.
Is that a different country?
Yeah. Her role in the film opened the door for Flugel to play a wide array of different character types.
A wide array of different wives and ex-wives.
Yeah, I know. In 1985, she appeared in To Live and Die in L.A. as Ruth Lanier, an undercover informant, heroin addict, and the love interest of Secret Service agent Richard Chance, portrayed by William Peterson.
Yeah, she was really good in that. But again, it was, love interest.
I know. Peter Hyams later said he had
a huge crush on Flugel since I saw her in To Live and Die in L.A.
Yeah, he wanted to work with her. That's why he cast her in the movie.
She's got a really great vulnerability to her.
She's good.
Really, yeah. I mean, she's even though she's a model, she's still got kind of a girl next door feel to her.
She convinced me that she was in love with Billy Crystal, and that's almost impossible. So,
hey, you look marvelous.
Her last film role was in 1996 with Darkman 3, Darkman Die.
Nice. Was Liam Neeson in that? Was he in all the Darkman movies?
I think he was only in the sequel. I don't think he played the lead.
He wasn't.
He did do the sequel, but he was not. And I don't think that it was directed by Sam Raimi either.
No, I think he just did the first two, right?
Yeah. It'd be funny if he did. I'll look it up. In 2009, she was diagnosed at age 56 with early onset Alzheimer's disease.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
Yeah. Unfortunately, on December 15th, 2017, she died from the disease at her home in Orlando, Florida.
Man, that's 8-year
just awful. 56, man. That's not good. Not good.
I would not. I couldn't.
No.
I mean, you're just going to turn into a burden.
Yeah. Yeah, it would, yeah. No, I wouldn't do that. Joey Pantoliano is Snake.
Joey Pants,
as he's lovingly called, had early roles in the television series MASH and the comedy film Risky Business.
Playing the exact same role, pretty much.
He gained recognition for numerous supporting roles in films and television shows such as
Hill Street Blues, The Goonies, La Bamba, Empire of the Sun, Midnight Run, NYPD Blue, Memento, and Bad Boys and its sequels.
Memento is either my favorite or tied for my favorite movie of all time.
Oh, wow. That's a good movie.
That and Psycho are my two favorite movies of all time.
Mine is La Bamba.
Wow. Yeah. I actually really liked La Bamba when I was growing up. It was good. He also appeared in The Fugitive and its spin-off U.S. Marshals.
Yeah. He was a cop. He wasn't playing a bad guy.
He played a cop, yeah.
He played a bad guy until he hit his 30s, and then he was a good guy.
You're a cop now. Yeah. He began working with the Wachowskis in their directorial debut Bound, which is phenomenal movie.
Oh, yeah.
And later appeared in their film The Matrix and the sci-fi series Sense8.
Yep.
Which I've never watched Sense8. It's one of those I keep meaning it's on my list.
I'm pretty sure I watched it.
I know it doesn't have a very satisfying ending, apparently. I think there was some comic books that were written to finish it, but Netflix canceled it early. And
this is the one about the people that can feel each other.
Yeah, from around the world, yeah.
It was good. It was good.
In 1999, in addition to appearing in The Matrix, he started a role on The Sopranos, which would earn him a Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Supporting Actor in 2003.
Those are the two things that really got him.
You know what's funny? I've never watched The Sopranos.
What?
I had no idea he was in this.
Oh, he was huge in The Sopranos.
No idea.
I can't believe you haven't watched The
I
Sopranos.
have zero interest in mafia
It is
stuff.
such a good. It's a good movie.
It's
it's just a great show.
I'm
man.
sure. I'm sure. I just have zero interest in mafia
Well,
stuff.
we got it on DVD. If you ever get.
I know.
And we also have Prime.
And I know it's more than just the mafia thing. I know
So
it's
much
bigger than
more.
that, but it's just one of those. It's
I get it, but I think you would really enjoy it.
During his tenure on The Sopranos, Pantoliano Joey Pants struggled to stay anonymous in his native New Jersey.
Hey, I'm not that guy. I'm another guy.
When filming his scenes as Ralph, he prevented the public from recognizing him by wearing a wig based on the hairstyle of filmmaker Christopher Nolan, who had previously directed him in Memento, which is super weird.
Yeah, he had this wig. It was crazy.
It was super weird. And the secret use of the wig later became a minor plot point in one episode of The Sopranos.
Yeah, I think after he was killed or something.
It was
Spoilers.
so weird. I don't
know if he
didn't make it to the end of the show, so I assume he was killed.
A lot of people didn't make it.
Joey Pants has published 2 memoirs and is active in the field of mental health, having documented his mother's issues and his own.
Yeah.
He revealed in 2007 that he'd been suffering from clinical depression for the previous decade, but had just been diagnosed.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because clinical depression comes in so many different forms. It's not just, I'm super sad. You can be angry. You can be... depression comes out in a lot of different ways.
He founded the nonprofit No Kidding Me Too, which is dedicated to removing the stigma from mental illness. He most recently can be seen playing himself in an episode of Chucky and voicing the character of Sticky Fins Whiting on the Patrick Star Show.
Nice.
Which is an offshoot of SpongeBob SquarePants.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
But going back to his mental health stuff, guys of his generation, the boomers, guys of our generation, the Gen X's, the walk it off, the I'll give you something to cry about if you don't stop crying. It is so... I was just talking to an older person, and they're like, yeah, therapy's for crazy people. And it's like, no, man, it's for everybody. Not. And it's still, it's just crazy to me that still people, there's a stigma to going to therapy.
Yeah.
When it's like, there's no stigma to going to an oncologist. There's no stigma to going to a dentist. There's no stigma going to a neurologist.
Your arm hurts, you go to the doctor.
Exactly.
You know, I mean, it's, I agree. It doesn't make any sense.
They're going to plant stuff in my head and tell me all the things. No, nobody's going to. That's a bad therapist.
So you're admitting that you're just a weak person? Is that what you're saying?
Well, no.
Why don't you go walk it off?
There's a lot of fear to it. You know, it's just, you grow up and.
I know.
Unfortunately, we need to have patience with our older folks.
Of course.
You know, they come from a different time.
We show the patience to our older folks now. When we become older folks, we hope people have patience with us.
The Gen Xers are going to have patience for everybody because we're the most even-keeled, accepting generation. You know, we're the generation that...
so even-keeled that literally they forget about us all the time.
Yeah. We're latchkey kids, man. We're the latchkey generation.
My favorite is every like 3 months or so, there will be a poll that's like, what is the most forgotten about generation? And it'll list like the boomers, millennials, Gen Z, and leave off Gen X entirely.
That's how much they're forgotten. They don't even make the list.
Yeah.
We are forgotten, I would say.
We are forgotten, yeah.
Best generation.
But I love Joey Pants. I've loved him since Bound. That was the first thing I really remember him from, and noticed him in.
Yeah.
And he is such a good actor, and I'm super happy that he is bringing more awareness to mental health and stuff. Like it's awesome.
But young Joey Pants is great because he always had crazy hair, crazy colored hair, and he was always some weird bad guy.
Weird thug that would run around. But he was always, even in Running Scared, like he was great.
Oh, yeah.
Like the depth that he showed of like being able to bounce off of Gregory Hines and Billy Crystal was great.
I'm sure that he was the impetus to put Joe Pesci into Lethal Weapon 2.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because there was that great dynamic. It's really hard to be a third wheel in that kind of dynamic and not stand out. And
where there's such good chemistry between the two.
And it blends seamlessly, just like Pesci did. And
it was great. I was sad. I was hoping that he was going to be in Running Scared more. But
he didn't make the sequel, that's for sure.
No. Dan Hedaya was cast as Captain Logan.
Cola! Why you working at jail, Skylar?
While a student at Tufts University, Hedaya began performing at the campus theater. He worked as a junior high school teacher for many years before deciding to pursue acting full time.
He just looks.
I want to be in his class so bad.
Well, he's also one of those guys that you see his characters, especially Cheers and this, where he's always over the top.
Yeah.
He's always looking down at you in his eyes. But when you hear him talking in interviews and stuff, he's just like a total...
He was much more reserved in this than I thought he was going to be.
Yeah.
I know him from Cheers, and he's just that guy.
Well, it's a thankless job to play the hard-ass police commander.
It is.
And it's ever since the guy from Starsky and Hutch, who was also in Last Action Hero. He kind of set the bar for you guys are making
scream.
Everything up, you're getting everything ruined, and I'm going to put you on. You're going to get on the desk duty, and I'm going to take your badge and your guns.
Alan Arkin is so brilliant in So I Married an Axe Murderer.
That's one of my favorite.
So brilliant.
Zag when you should zig.
Yeah.
But he played it more real and less cartoony than most.
Yeah. Although of Syrian Jewish descent, Hedaya is often cast in Italian-American roles. He's had a long career appearing in a ton of movies and TV shows in the 80s, most notably as Carla Tortelli's ex-husband Nick on the sitcom Cheers, and its short-lived spin-off, The Tortellis.
Oh, yeah.
Did not realize that existed.
With Jane Kasem as his wife.
Gene
Kasem,
sorry. Gene Kasem. Yeah, yes. Sorry. I was like, no, that's the... No, it's Casey Kasem. Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
Glad we got there.
Yep. The Hunger in 1983, which was Tony Scott's directing debut.
Have you seen that?
No.
I think that's...
With David Bowie.
Yeah, David Bowie, Susan Sarandon. It's like this weird vampire movie.
It's like a weird vampire.
It's all sexy.
Sex vampire movie.
It's not bad.
Yeah. It's very possible I saw it in college, but I don't remember anything about it.
Yeah, it was very popular.
He was in Blood Simple from the Coen brothers and The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension and Tightrope from Clint Eastwood in 1984.
All good movies.
Great movies. I haven't seen... Tightrope I feel like I've seen, but I got to go back through Clint Eastwood's 80s stuff.
Tightrope's a weirdie because he plays this cop, I think in New Orleans or someplace, and he has these daughters. And his actual daughter... played his daughter.
Oh, wow.
One of his daughters.
Yeah.
But it's this killer who's kind of into bondage or something, and then Clint Eastwood kind of gets into bondage, and it's Clint Eastwood into bondage, and it's just a little uncomfortable. But it was a good movie.
He was in Commando in 1985.
I'm all over this.
That's a huge guilty pleasure. He was in Wise Guys in 1986 from Brian De Palma, starring Dan DeVito and Joe Piscopo.
That was not a good movie.
And Joe versus the Volcano in 1990.
Yeah, he was the dad of
Tom Hanks.
No,
Helen, not Helen. Meg Ryan.
Meg Ryan. I think he's the one that gives him the
thing to leave. Yeah, the vacation or whatever.
He's the one that hires him to jump into the volcano.
Oh, yeah. Yes, I think you're right. Hedaya can most recently be seen in The God Committee from 2021, starring Kelsey Grammer, Julia Stiles, Janine Garofalo, and Coleman Domingo.
Oh, my God.
Which is funny because it's very similar to The Star Chamber.
Oh.
And the plot is that it's a bunch of people that decide who gets transplants, like organ transplants.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting cast, too.
Yeah. I've never seen it. I have no idea if it's any good or not. Jimmy Smits was cast as Julio Gonzalez.
Yeah.
One of Smits' early roles was playing Sonny Crockett's original partner on the first episode of Miami Vice in 1984.
It's great.
In the first 5 minutes of the episode, he falls victim to a car bomb.
Sucks.
Spoiler alert. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's the first 5 minutes.
I know. Please listen to episode 6 of our show to hear more about Miami Vice.
Yeah, and you get to hear T. Arthur Cottam, award-winning filmmaker T. Arthur Cottam.
Running Scared was Smits' feature film debut. That same year, in 1986, he won a role on L.A. Law, appearing in 102 episodes over 6 seasons.
He was a lawyer.
He was. He's mostly played cops and lawyers in his career, including appearing in 90 episodes of NYPD Blue.
Yeah, this was one of the only roles where he played a bad guy.
Yeah.
He was good, too.
Oh, he was great. It was funny. Every time he saw Billy Crystal, he'd just freak out and try to run away. It was great. In 2002, he appeared as Senator Bail Organa, Leia's adoptive father, in episode 2 of the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah.
He would reprise the role in 2005 for Episode 3, in 2016 for Rogue One, and in 2022 in 3 episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi with an insane death scene.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's the other Obi. It's Obi-Wan's brother.
I think he might have also voiced his character on the Clone Wars.
I think he did, actually, now that you say that. He appeared in 35 episodes of The West Wing and in 38 episodes of Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
The man has been in so much TV, I had no idea.
He's constantly working.
Oh, yeah. He most recently can be seen in the recently canceled crime procedural East New York area, which aired on CBS for 1 season.
Okay. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, it didn't do very well. John Grease, or as he's credited here, Jonathan Grease, was cast as Tony.
You might know him from Napoleon Dynamite as the sad uncle who
Uncle Rico.
keeps throwing the football because that's the only thing he ever did.
He was born in Glendale, California, the son of writer, director, and producer Tom Grease. His first film role came at the age of 11 in 1968 when he played the boy Horace in the Charlton Heston film Will Penny, which was written and directed by his father.
Oh, interesting. I want to watch that again and look for him.
Yeah. His father was a prolific writer and director, including directing 4 episodes of the Batman TV show. During post-production on Tom's final film, The Greatest, in 1977, a biography of boxer Muhammad Ali, in which Ali also played himself, Tom Grease collapsed and died of a heart attack while playing tennis.
Oh, man.
At the age of 54.
Yeah, there were a lot of drinking and smoking.
Yeah. Some of Jonathan Grease's signature roles have become cult classics. He played Laszlo Holyfield in Real Genius in 1985.
That's the character that lives in the closet.
One of my favorite comedies of all time.
Oh, yeah.
Azzolini in Rainbow Drive, the Peter Weller film in 1990.
Yep.
Sean McDermott in the TV series Martin from 1992 to 1994.
The Martin Lawrence Show?
Yeah, Martin.
Oh, okay.
He was in Martin, yeah. Ronnie Wingate in Get Shorty in 1995.
Yeah, I remember that.
Harvey in The Rundown in 2003, directed by Peter Berg and starring The Rock and Sean William Scott. Ugh. 2 of Jim's favorite actors.
I liked Sean William Scott.
The Rundown, I'm not a fan of Peter Berg.
No.
I've already covered that. Listen to a previous, I don't remember when, but I go on a very long Peter Berg rant.
It's all the time.
He also was Uncle Rico in Napoleon Dynamite in 2004.
Yeah.
Grease can most recently be seen in The White Lotus, the seasonal anthology series from Mike White on HBO.
He's great. He's always solid. He's solid character.
He's such a good actor. Yeah. Tracy Reed was Mary Ann, the guy who Gregory Hines would break the law for every time he wanted to sleep with her.
Yeah, that's a little bit of police abuse.
Yeah.
Keep her. And first of all, if she's all happy that he keeps effing with the person she's with, why is she even with him?
Why is she there?
It just seems like a very dysfunctional situation all the way around.
Yeah. This movie has very weird, a weird look on marriage between Billy Crystal and his ex-wife, who just at the end of the movie randomly forgets about her soon-to-be husband.
Well, one of the problems with 80s movies is women were mostly accessories rather than partners.
So Tracy Reed majored in English at UCLA and planned to write children's books for a profession.
Nice.
When she was a student, a tryout led her to becoming a blackout gag player in the TV series Love, American Style from 1969 to 1974.
Oh, that's such a great show.
Yeah.
Love, American Style, oh, me and you.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Now that sounds more familiar now. In 1971, the California Press Photographers Association named Reed the most beautiful face in television.
She is a beauty.
Running Scared was her last feature film.
Oh, no.
She guest starred in some TV shows, including a recurring role in Knots Landing in 1990, but hasn't acted since.
All right.
I think she's maybe writing children's books now.
She had enough.
I don't know. Yeah. So filming for Running Scared spanned September 1985 to January of 1986 across MGM Studios in Culver City, in addition to location work in Key West and Chicago. The suspension systems of 3 Chevy Impalas were destroyed during the L train tracks chase scene.
Well, of course, you're driving on the train tracks and between the tracks. It's
That just went on for so long.
Well, I think they were trying to do the opposite of the French Connection, which was
underneath.
But instead of going under the train, they went on the tracks.
Right.
They did it a little different.
I also think it's really funny that they started the chase at O'Hare and then managed to get to downtown LA or downtown Chicago in like 5 minutes.
Hey.
Yeah, it's like a 40-minute drive.
Not on the tracks, apparently.
It was just funny.
But what a stupid place. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not like you can escape. There's nowhere to go.
Every time someone drives on a train tracks, it's like, what are you doing? Why?
Although, when I play GTA,
you do
I go to the train tracks to get away from the cops.
To hide. Yeah, well, that's why they do it, Jim. The building scene where...
That's where I learned it, Adam, was watching Running Scared.
The building scene where Danny and Hughes throw their pants to Julio with the hostage is the same building that Child's Play was filmed from 1988. The Running Scared soundtrack sold well and produced 3 top 15 hits with performances by Climax, Michael McDonald, New Edition, and Patti LaBelle.
K-L-Y-M-A-X-X, by the way.
Climax. Producer Rod Temperton also contributed 2 songs with his band, the Rod Temperton Beat Wagon.
Oh, yeah. That was such... Oh, man.
Terrible name for a band.
Well, they have beats.
Let's go to the Beat Wagon.
Yeah, they did.
Sweet Freedom from Michael McDonald performed the best, hitting number 4 on the Adult Contemporary chart and number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Shine, sweet freedom, shine your light on me. You are the magic that I want to be.
Shine, sweet freedom. Shine on me. Yeah, that's literally just been running through my head the last 4 hours.
Running Scared through your head.
Running Scared was a moderate box office success, earning over $38 million. It debuted at number 5 in the U.S. box office with a weekend gross of $5,227,757.
Nice. I think you got my $3.
Reviews were mixed, however. Film critter.
Film critter. Yeah, you got that right.
Film critic Roger Ebert recommended it, saying that the film
transcends its dreary roots and turns out to be a lot of fun.
Vincent Canby of the New York Times, however, advised people to
stay home and watch Miami Vice or Cagney Lisa
instead.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. A sequel titled Still Running was planned and different scripts were written, but Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines did not think any of them were strong enough to warrant a sequel and turned them all down.
Yeah, that's magic in a bottle. You're not going to... A sequel would just... You got everything you needed out of this.
Yeah. I agree. I liked the movie. It had some weird pacing.
Yeah.
It had one of the funniest gags I've ever seen in a movie.
Yes.
With Gregory Hines and the delivery of the perfect yes.
So there's a scene where they're interrogating this woman trying to find Jimmy Smits, this older woman.
Yeah.
And while they're interrogating her, Billy Crystal's
talking to her, yeah.
Hines is standing behind him, and there's this kid behind the lady that just keeps popping out and giving him the birds, the double fingers.
So many. It's such a good kid thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, he would totally do it.
Oh, and a lot of really good bird work, too.
Oh,
his hands
so
moving
much.
around.
So much.
And you could just, Gregory Hines get more and more pissed off every time. He just gets so frustrated. And then it's like, okay, we got what we need. The door closes. He's like, hold on one second. And he knocks on the door very lightly, and the kid opens up, and he gives him the double bird, and he's like, yeah!
It was so amazing. It was so amazing. God.
I love when people flip off kids. I just think it's hilarious.
He deserved it. He was a little dick.
He was a jerk.
Yeah, there's also, there's a bunch of other, like, character actors in this movie that you'd recognize.
Oh, yeah.
To the point where I couldn't even... some of the actors I couldn't even find.
Yeah.
Like the when they bust in to find Julio and he's banging the naked lady and there's all 3 of the thugs looked really familiar, but like I couldn't figure out who any of them were.
There's a lot of those kind of stunt / extra guys, like the Asian guy from
the guy from Die Hard.
The guy that eats the candy bar. He's one of the. He always was a henchman.
Everything. Oh yeah.
You know that guy is like henchman number 1, henchman number 3. His resume is just henchy.
But then like the guy who fixes the cars.
Oh yeah.
He's been in a ton of stuff.
He's probably most well. He's been in a ton of stuff and always playing kind of a weirdo.
Yeah.
But probably...
he's weird looking.
Oh, yeah. You probably most recognize him from Seinfeld when they were making the pilot. He was the guy who played Kramer.
Right.
Right. Jeremy Piven played George. This guy played Kramer.
Right.
And he was so good because Kramer was like, maybe you want to hang out with me, and he's like, no, I'm going to do it the way I want to do it. It's just like, but great actor.
But he's a great actor. There's the lawyer who comes in, Don Calfa, who's been in a ton of stuff.
Oh yeah,
like there's just a ton of great actors in this movie.
Yeah, just guys that showed up in everything in the '80s.
Yeah,
but like we said at the top, this is a great time capsule of the '80s.
Oh yeah.
Like I said, it has every '80s cop movie trope. Cops that they go by their own rules, and especially when those rules are illegal.
All the time.
And it's got the soundtrack. It's got everything. It's the reason why it kind of disappeared is it's a little indistinguishable between other cop movies because it's got the same sounds and vibes, and even like the opening montage is so much like Beverly Hills Cop.
Yeah,
and it's got like by law you had to have at least 3 musical montages in an 80s film, especially an action film. It's got these, and is it the best buddy cop movie? No. But is it fun? Yeah.
Yeah, I had a good time. I had a good time watching it. It was interesting. It was really, really fun to watch Billy Crystal and Gregory Hines because they had such good chemistry.
Amazing. And you forget about Gregory Hines. And he's been out of the public eye for a long time because unfortunately he passed. But watch this just to see how talented this guy was, just how natural he was, and how likable he was. And he just had such an easygoing way about him that just made you instantly connect to whatever character or whatever he was doing.
Yeah.
He was watching him tap dance was insane the way that the guy moved. And you watch him move in the movie, he's really got grace to him.
Yeah.
And look, Billy Crystal, if you know him now, he's kind of an old crank. He's doing weird movies. Groundbreaking comedian.
Yeah.
He had such guts to play the role of Jody on Soap. Mm-hmm. And he survived Rabbit Test, which should have killed anybody's career.
Should kill all their careers, yeah.
Great stand-up, great, the guy's had an amazing career. Saturday Night Live, and then it's all baseball. But that's fine.
He's doing a lot of Broadway stuff. Like he's
Mr. Saturday Night.
He's doing what he wants, and he loves it. So I mean, more power to him.
And When Harry Met Sally, one of the best romantic comedies ever.
Yeah.
City Slickers, a great
movie.
midlife crisis movie.
Yeah.
And
at 35.
Exactly. That's what's good. We got to teach these young guys who are 28 and we're 35.
I know. They were like the young guys. I was like, they look as old as you do. I'm confused.
Yeah, well, but seriously, it's all of, like we said.
Yeah.
All of the movies are that's the reason why they're the other buddies.
Yeah.
The
B movie buddies.
This is the second tier buddy movies, buddy cops or buddy criminals or
right.
Or buddy whatever they are.
Bounty hunters or something.
I have
not seen Harley Davidson the Marlboro Man in a long time.
All I remember about that movie, the thing that I remember the most is one of the Baldwins, I think it's the one that died. And he and his minions have these like really long, shiny leather coats. And they look like they're from some sci-fi movie.
Yeah.
And then there's some big shootout at an airplane graveyard.
Oh, yeah.
So we have that to look forward to. But yeah, this is a great Sunday afternoon, have a couple of beers movie.
Yeah.
Or,
yeah.
A great double feature with Beverly Hills Cop or something. It's got
any of the 80s, like the big 80s, like buddy movies.
Anything with some steel drum in it, baby.
Yeah.
And it lives and dies on the leads, and it lives because the leads are very charismatic.
Yeah.
They have a great chemistry together. You're rooting for these guys. It may be weirdly paced. It may be...
it is a little weird. The plot's a little odd.
But, it's also fun to see cops that aren't badasses,
Right. They were very, very blue-collar, very
human.
normal guys, yeah.
And once they decide to buy the bar, because the plot, the loose plot is there's these Chicago cops, and they are forced to go on vacation after screwing up. Mm-hmm. They go to the Keys, Florida Keys, they fall in love, they buy a bar, they're going to retire and be bar owners.
Oh, yeah.
And then they come back and, they want to finish up their last big case, which is Jimmy Smits.
Yeah.
So, you've got all that going on.
They don't want to die. They don't want to risk themselves too much.
They've got something to live for now.
They got 30 days and then they're done.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's like instead of the one cop, heading to retirement, it's two cops. Double retirement.
Guys that just want to be done.
But, everybody gets shot.
Yeah.
Everybody takes a bullet because that's how it is in those. You got to limp it off.
Everybody's using. That's my favorite. Is the big finale like fight scene? Everybody has those tiny Uzis that are so inaccurate all the time.
They're the worst. There's like it's just like the kick and everything. The thing
It's just
everywhere. Such impractical. They would have done a lot better with their revolvers. But But check it out.
It's on Amazon Prime right now. But
be careful.
Yes, there is also a rent or buy. But if you look deeper, you will find the free version on Amazon Prime.
If you just put in running
instead of just run,
it'll bring up the free one.
But it's worth a see. It's definitely worth a see.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, it's a fun afternoon movie.
Or a revisit if you've not seen it in a long time.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I was a little skeptical. I was like, I don't know, because it's been a while.
Yeah.
But this was a movie that I loved as a kid. I've always loved buddy cop movies.
Yeah.
I love buddy movies. And, like we said, it lives and dies with the buddies. And these are good buddies.
We'll be back next week. With a doozy.
Tango and cash.
I honestly think it's going to be our longest episode ever.
Maybe. I love that movie.
The making of this movie was bonkers.
And until next week, people, shine sweet freedom, shine your light on me.
Have fun with that stuck in your head.
Yeah, forever. Shine sweet freedom.
Shine sweet freedom. Yeah.
All right, here we go.
That's all I hear. Yeah, Running Skate was Running Skate.
Running Skate?
All right, Running Scared.
But that guy was a groundbreaking, a groundbreaking comedian. We now return you to your regularly scheduled program, Holmes and Yo-Yo, already in progress.